There we go. This is Jupiter Exile, and we're live once more with Bloodborne. Let's make sure everything is arranged. Let's see what I am doing. Where did I set down the controller? That's pretty important to track. Okay, there it is. Alright. Do I have coffee? I've got a little coffee. That helps. So, we are returning to Brigenworth, and we'll be making attempts, or back to making attempts, at Vacuous Rom, who is really more tedious than he is hard, so it's just kind of a matter of being a little judicious, and we should be okay. I am going to take a moment to go back on a weapon adjustment I had made previously. Hey, Sully, thanks for joining. Okay. I'm going to have to adjust the way I'm hearing this in my headset, because I am hearing delayed audio in the headset, and that's going to mess with me a lot. Can I just make that quieter? That might work out. Well, let's see. Yeah, I should be mostly leaning on what I'm hearing through the TV. Okay, so I'm going to change back off this Bolt Blood Gemstone. My thinking is, giving myself the ability to use lightning paper is going to be way more effective here. Yeah, I think this is the effectiveness I want. And I don't have enough bloodstone chunks to make any further adjustments. Oh wait, I actually wanted to check on this. Yeah, okay, that is actually no change. That's pretty funny. And I don't think I was going to be improving this yet. I have a lot of bloodstone shards to actually make improvements on that. Do I have any cold blood? Oh, I've got quite a few cold blood. Might as well upgrade this. There. Now that also requires bloodstone chunks to improve. It doesn't get any more slots. Guns just tend to have one bloodstone slot, and that's just how they work. Do some repairs on things, since that system is awfully hard to keep track of. And let's see, I think I can spend the rest of this to get like one bolt paper. Yeah. Get one bolt paper. I may have to take a moment a little later to look up what I need to do to be able to buy beast blood pellets. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, I hope you had a good weekend, Sully. I've been offline since Friday. I was thinking I might do something on Sunday, but I wound up just spending that day unwinding. Eating a lot of food. Okay. So it's a super quick run in Brigenworth to get back to Vacuous Rom. And once we can kill this boss, it's going to open up basically everything else in the game. Giving us a nice big to-do list. Whee! Hiya! So he's got all these little goon ad thingamajigs to deal with. So my basic thoughts about this is, I need to deal with this stuff. I want to be at full health. And it's only after I have trimmed down all of these ads that I'm going to be going for attacks on the main man. At least for the first phase. The second phase I might go reckless on. but I'm thinking that if I use consumables in the right way during the first phase, I can get him down to like under 50% with my first big string, and then I might be able to just, you know, like rush past these guys to get him. Or I can wind up doing a slow second phase where I kill all of these things very carefully, and then that gets me where I need to be. Okay, so here's the bit where I'm going to use this. Use this. We're going to start with one charged heavy, and then I'm going to get my stamina back, do a sequence with transform, hit, transform, he moves away, hit, transform, hit, transform, hit. Okay, that's what I was able to get. His health is super low. Once he appears over here, apparently, yeah, I shortcutted through like a mini phase. Once he appears, we go in past a lot of stuff. Just gonna do falling crystals. Okay, I want to just try and skirt past some guys. That's a burst attack. That got me. Okay. So I just need to avoid that a little bit better. But that's what we want to happen in terms of the kind of cadence of the fight. If he's taken enough damage, he'll do both of his teleports at once, because I only want him to teleport away once. I only have 7 attempts using this stratagem before I have to slow down. And it looks like I'm also using my limited quantity of healing vials. So I need to not get hit by his explosive attack again. Because it seems like the explosive attack and the falling rocks attack, I believe, can both one-shot us. So once again, first phase, we are going to take it slow, fight these guys in a very regular way. Hitting them in the head does almost nothing. So we need to hit them in their spider butts. I favor going for the ones on the outsides. So that way you're not getting swarmed or retaliated against. Go. Yep, that attack kills in one hit if it hits. I underestimated the range. I thought that would whiff. Yeah, there's basically like 4 different attacks that one-shot us in this setup, but the boss himself is very kind of languid. He doesn't do much. Oh hey, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Glad to have it. Alright, and right back at it. Getting killed by spiders is a small setback, so long as it happens in the first phase. Getting killed by spiders in the second phase after we've used the consumables, it's going to be a huge pain in the neck. That one where they jump and like land their head in would also be a one-shot if it caught me. From from what I've seen, they've got two patterns where they go into this deadly stuff. If they just jump out of nothing, it's going to be the, oh, never mind, I was wrong. He just did the leap forward attack without doing a sidestep first, which was the observation I was trying to make. So, I was wrong. They're not actually super mobile. No. Bolt paper it, there we go. I got a lot less damage this time compared to last time when I tried to do almost that same set of movements. That's pretty frustrating. That's the Rock's Fall. I think he did it twice. Yeah, you kind of have to watch for him to rear up, and that's when he's doing a thing. This is where the fight gets obnoxious, because you have to be avoiding a whole bunch of spiders and dealing with him doing attacks. Yeah, so we can like roll like a ninny when he does that setup, and that can kind of work. Okay, he's decided to teleport. Ow. Yeah, okay. We got caught by some spider legs, which caused us to not get out of the slam in time. Either way, I'm not sure what the difference is in my behavior that caused him to handle the phase change differently. And I'd really like that to be consistent. I think the best damage I can do is probably just light transform in a continuing sequence. Last time I started that with a charged heavy, and I don't know if that's actually better, because with the Beast Blood pellets I need to be building Beast Gauge during my attack progress. Also, I need to not miss an input, because apparently it didn't register my item swap. Tricky. Okay, here we go. Alright, yada yada, first phase, killing a bunch of spiders. Spiders are like weirdly bad at moving backwards, so like getting behind them, you can kind of just carve a bunch of them up. It does take them a long time to turn around. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna use this. Use this. 1, 2. 1, 2. Move with him. 1, 2. Move with him. Okay, nice amount of damage there. I need to identify where he's showing up. There he is. And there's the second teleport. Okay, so we got both teleports to happen. That's a good sign. That's a burst. I go in after that. I think he just killed me with that flop. Yeah, that random flop spasm killed me because I took a spider hit. Painful to get so close on these, but that's just kind of the way this is. Like, when I'm trying to rush the fight. I could try to take the fight a lot slower. I'm just trying to go in and get in these, like, last 4 hits I need. Okay, so I am noticing a difference in behavior when he's doing the initial kind of transition. I think I might be staggering him out of a teleport in some cases. If I knew perfectly how I was doing that, I could really tear him up. But I really have no idea how that's working, if that's what's happening at all. Get these 3 spiders kind of strung out. Take them out. Trying to cut down my uses of healing vials. Got a pretty limited amount of blood at this point in the run. I'm going to have to take a farm session after killing Rom, ideally. I'm rolling even though that's a ridiculously far distance away because I've misjudged it before, and I'm very nervous about getting annoyingly one-shot. Alright, I'm going to take that pop. Chow. Bolt, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, this time he did the super fast pattern with none of the backstepping, so I've probably wasted these items now. Got no consistency there. He's going to do the falling rocks. If it's like this, I think I should probably just be going for spiders. What's that pattern again? Is that up from the bottom, then they fall down? Or is that just up in random places? I think that probably does a telegraph on the floor. Okay, so we're killing these guys, but we're watching Rom very closely. That's falling rocks. Okay. Getting hit by one of them set me up to die. So it's not instant death on falling rocks, but it's pretty bad. I know that the hitless route to do this fight consistently uses the cannon. Because the standard hitless route for the game levels up the character, which is why I can't mimic that route at this point. I think that route works for an SL1 play up to about, or not SL1, BL4, up to about the Vicar Amelia. But after Vicar Amelia, the routes diverge pretty heavily because the difference in level becomes a big deal in terms of the damage output. It's only once you start switching out the equipment, you start doing cannon setups in the hitless route, that things get really different. Because that route basically just gets you out of some boss phases that are troublesome and stun locks certain bosses so that you don't have to worry about some of their attack patterns. And the BL4 run can do that at the lower end. Okay, they've got weirdly long arms. Like, that was probably on target. That was definitely on target. That was not close enough to hitting, but only because it actually collided with the other spiders. Okay, here we go. he was not in the mood to hang out. Let's see if I can just get in some quick attacks. That's the burst. It killed me again. Okay. Because I need to run out of that, not dodge out of it. Dodging will be too slow. Noted. I was also a little late to recognize which attack it was. Okay. Let me see if I can change my armor for arcane resistance. Because getting one shot by that attack really sucks. Okay, that's versus blunt. Arcane is the star. So we're on 60 for that, 110. The student uniform should give us better. Is there a hat version for the student? No, there's no hat that goes with the student uniform. There's like a marginal gain with the Gascoigne's gloves. That's right, I was trying to optimize against physical and arcane so I wasn't getting killed by the spiders, but I think I can't really do much better against the spiders. Okay, so this will give us like a bit more resistance against the arcane attacks. If I can not be instantly killed by the bursting arcane attack, that would be really nice. My Carol runes, I've got physical damage reduction. I don't think I have. I've got the arcane lake. I'm gonna give the fight one more shot, and then I might go back to apply the arcane lake, just to avoid being one shot, or to try to avoid being one shot. Being one shot gets less and less avoidable naturally as you progress in either the SL1 or the BL4 runs. Relatively speaking, this is earlier than usual in a run to have to worry about being one shot by some of the attacks, relative to how fast the attacks are. I mean, there are certainly other bosses in Soulsborne that have about this same predication to one-shot you. It's basically like caster-style bosses like this are a little meaner. I kind of think about this fight like it's not as bad as the Crystal Sage in Dark Souls 3, but it is pretty dang tedious, and it's kinda similar. I can only get the extra phases out of him if he skitters backwards, and I have no idea how to prompt that. That's falling rocks. Falling rocks. They hit me right on. That attack is always super random to me. I think I need to angle the camera up so that I can actually dodge them. Well, I can give it like 2 more attempts before I have to farm. See, I think the most efficient thing for me to farm for Blood Echoes is probably farming Stalkers in Yahar'gul, because I think the game considers those enemies pretty highly, but they're not hard to kill. So I have kind of a looping setup there, but you know, 3 more attempts and I'm not going to have access to consumables for this. Yeah. I can't kill the spiders this quickly in any of the subsequent phases. Because I have to keep worrying about dodging spells. Which is why I've been trying to rush the fight. I input that as a buffer. Not what you want to do here. Okay, I dealt more damage. There's definitely a threshold that causes him to stagger, and it's after that he can basically choose when he wants to teleport. So yeah, I'm going to try looking up at that attack as often as possible at this point. It will help correct my run trajectory. Really uncomfortable with all the snakes on the floor. Not the snakes, the spiders. The snakes were the last area. Okay, watch, there it goes again. He's basically got cycles where he's going to do a flurry of spell casts, and then he kind of calms down for a bit. Okay, I can't take advantage of that opening on the spiders, but they're pretty far away from Rom, so I think I can just kill this guy, and now I think I can bolt paper and go in on Rom. He's gonna try to kill me. Okay. Kill this thing. So we got an extra stagger that allowed me to put in some more damage before his teleport. That is the one that pops from the ground. You have to make sure we're not too close to the boss for that, or we could, like, randomly get hit. Okay, that's one to run from. I think so long as we're running perpendicular to the boss, we'll be okay for that pattern. Nervous with me not being able to look at the boss for a bit. Okay, I think we've almost got a clean hit on the side. Not quite, though. We really need to clear out more of this. Oh. That was close. That was close. This boss is such a pain in the neck, man. Floor again, that's fine. Oh, that's from the sky. Okay. That's from the floor. Back it up, come back in. Hey, buddy. That's the boss. Alright. So now we can use what we get from him to restock. It's Kin, Cold Blood, and we've got a bit of a meeting here. The descent of the moon, the arrival of a child. plenty of distressing stuff. Everybody's got to show up for the birth of a god. So I'd kind of like to figure out or recall Ritual Secret Broken, Seek the Nightmare Newborn. So now we can actually go down into the village of Yahar'gul and all that nonsense. We're going to come back to that in a moment, going through that door, that is. But now, first and foremost, anytime we kill a boss, we need to come back and buy more flippin' blood buff. Oh, okay, don't set me here. I want to go to the dream. Actually, I don't know if I can go back this way. I think I have to... Yeah, you fall down a hill to get here. So, I can't go back that way just yet. I need to move forward until I get a lamp. Yeah. Yahar'gul, Unseen Village. So now we've got these kind of red glowing dudes showing up outside of the Chalice Dungeon. They are being summoned by a guy who we could, like, run down and kill. For now, though, I just want to return to the dream and get more blood vials. So Yahar'gul is made up of a couple kind of gauntlets of dudes. There's some little jump scares and things. We've seen bits and pieces of Yahar'gul when we previously entered the Hypogean Gaol, but now things are going to be a little different. Okay. There's nothing new in the shop because we didn't get anything that would do that. I'm going to buy a lot of these. I'm going to want to stock up on bolt paper later when I can. We've got access to the Tomb Prospector set, which is based on... I think that's after we killed Dark Beast Parl that became available. And in terms of insight, yeah, we can buy fire paper, bolt paper, shaman bone blades. We can buy lead elixirs. We can buy twin bloodstone shards now. We can buy the bone ash set. Let's see, in terms of... That's got some pretty handy physical resistance. It's got incredibly high fire and bolt resist. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. I can't think of where that would be useful, but maybe it'll be useful somewhere. I think I heard a weird sound effect when I stepped inside. I'm still loosely trying to remember if there are any important conversations with Garamon or anything like that we have to have. That reminds me, I haven't really looked out at this. It reminds me of the arch trees from Dark Souls. These spires floating out in nothingness. Well, anyway, we're not quite in the nightmare yet. I think it should be here. Yeah, going back to Yahar'gul, Unseen Village. So roaming around here for a bit, I should be able to get some new blood gems and possibly some weapon upgrade parts coming up pretty soon that will allow me to start pushing towards maxing out the weapon. So that's a priority. We need to get more consumables, of course. Here in Yahar'gul, we can now kind of freely see these amygdala hanging out. Everything here in the hidden village is super eldritch and weird. There's a couple amygdala. Yeah. Like, I think it should be amygdala like the body part. Some characters in the game seem to pronounce it as amygdala, which confuses the heck out of me. I know that there are some like, secret paths to follow. in terms of doing this, but I don't remember how this is all laid out or how it works exactly. Like, there's definitely some important items for us to grab, like that. We can now upgrade our weapon to +7 because we were only short 1 bloodstone chunk for that. So I'm gonna get swarmed in short order, and like shot by elephant guns and things like that. It's super great. It's gonna take me a while to remember exactly how to get through this. These like red tinged villagers that are summoned by like a summoner with a bell have way more health than the villagers from the earlier parts of the game. I don't recall if they actually do more damage. Okay, so we've got an elevator here. That's a shortcut. We can't open that yet. There are some spots you can like drop down off of things, is what I vaguely remember. And I'm trying to be mindful of that or wary of those. It's not like I can cut through that. No, no, no. Okay. Okay, so there's this. Ah, there's the staircase I needed to use to get back. From what I recall, I think the amygdala up here will actually do stuff to try and kill me. And there's this giant, like, staircase full of dudes as well that we mostly just want to run past. And then try very carefully to not get shot on the other end. Because up here is this last ring of bell. And when she's dead, that entire row of dudes is going to die. Never mind. That entire row of dudes is going to lose a buff and stop respawning. They work a bit differently from the Chalice Dungeon guys. Okay, okay. Open this door. So we find ourselves now in a place that's similar to the Hypogean Gaol, because it is the same area. The Menses ritual must be stopped, lest we all become beasts. Tear that up. I believe there's a lamp, like just a little bit ahead. I don't remember the deeds. Okay. So we've got a door here that doesn't open from this side. I think that's another shortcut. Kind of. We've got this. That's right, that's right. It's a shortcut for getting on the other side of all of this metal. Because this is like a second gauntlet. I'm gonna like try and give you the slip. Get the air word. I think this is what we're looking for. Slip on through here. We're gonna have. There's a guy in a chair that was up on that, up on kind of a balcony ledge there, trying to shoot me. Try and avoid him. Okay, this area I remember being a nasty gank fest if I don't go through here correctly, which is, I'm assured to get it wrong the first time. One of few certainties. Yeah, yeah. Right, and there's lasers. Okay, I got killed by a Molotov. So, yeah, this segment, the lasers and the dudes coming in make it pretty tough. The lasers affect the enemies through here, so if you have the right trajectory, you can mostly just focus on the laser and get through. I may try a slightly different path, so I do need to start the run from up here. So we're just gonna go this. I got snagged on like a little stone statue. Let's do that again. But yeah, we're just gonna run to the bottom of those stairs. We're gonna kill the bell ringer and move on. Killing the bell ringer doesn't kill the other guys, but it puts a really, really long stun on them. I can use that to move forward. No point really to grabbing those blood echoes, but it's a matter of habit. Grab it. Dodge that gunshot. Get through here. She's ringing a bell. We'll pop up here and kill her dead. Let everybody take a break. We can grab quicksilver bullets if we want to. So there was nothing out over that way. So after killing her, we are looking to progress through here. So long as we're killing this crowd, like these guys have a decent drop rate for what's it called? Blood vials. The ones carrying guns are more predisposed to drop bullets, which we don't really care about. We're not going to find bullets to be a compelling limitation for a while. Just. Oh, I accidentally closed the door I needed to walk through. That's not conducive to get through here. Alright, I'm going to see if I can get that other door open. Yeah, there's a bell ringing last right here. I got to watch for that dude in the chair. Waited for him to fire his shot. Take out another couple people while they are dazed. Alright. This will let me open that door so I can get through this segment faster if I need to. Have an extra blood vial. There is an extra item over in here. That is a stone thingy. I thought that was an enemy. Some frenzied cold blood. Cool, cool. Alright, now we're going to progress on out of here. Okay, now we're getting into Laser Town. I vaguely recall that there is some really cool way of getting through here, or that there's a varied path that I should be aware of. Let's see. Ignore the giant eldritch creature. Where does this put me? Okay. I need this guy to be active so I can get the chest. I remember there's something very valuable inside that center room. His attack there just kind of splattered me. Okay, so I need to go after that guy with a chain gun before I can do anything active in this room. Ooh, ouch. Which game with the save file corruption? Oh, dodge that just at the right time. I can't always be super attentive to chat while I'm doing this, but I will definitely check the chat between each death. There we go. Now we can move on from there. I didn't know DBD like had a save file to go off of. Yeah, if you could actually lose your progress in DBD, I'd probably quit the game on the spot. Like, there's enough nonsense going on in DBD without having to worry about a progress reset. It takes so stinking long to farm everything in that game. Okay, I'm gonna try killing off... okay, I got crashed by that. I want to try killing off a few of these beastly gals so that I can have a more leisurely exploration of that location. Yeah. Man. I really wish, like, all I want for Christmas is for them to rework the blood web so that it is not super annoying. I want to just be able to slam in all my blood points at once, even if it just gives me random stuff. I don't care. I'm so tired of looking at the blood web. I'm just gonna run on past this room. I don't think I even need to care about these bell ringers. Here we go. This is the one throwing stuff. I attacked into that instead of dodging. That's on me for being impatient. Ugh. The rifle spear. I know where to get the powder keg hunter badge, and I could go after it. I'd have to kill Jura for it. Can't hit me, haha. Okay, I'm gonna keep going for the one that throws Molotovs as my first target here, because I'm in no mood. There we go. That's how we should be doing it. Okay, so felt like there was an extra way to fall down from this platform. No, okay, it wasn't this platform. Okay, so we're going into the next building down below, and we're going to be going after the fellow with the chain gun first before we wake up anybody else. He should be over here. Okay. Now I want to go for this guy so that I can get to the chest. Can't see super well. Okay, got him. And I got killed. I tried to do a dodge, and the dodge just like got eaten by something, I'm not sure what. I think I saw the character do it, but it was too early. Alright, I'm gonna run past the gals. I don't think the gals are actually following us into this room, so maybe I don't have to worry about them for this. I just need to kill the guy with the chain gun, then both of these big guys, and I should be able to loot the chest. And then I can finally remember what the heck I'm even going for here. That being said, I am recalling that the item in the center of this room is something that I need to fall down into this room from another direction in order to get. I think that might be here, actually. I need to take a fall. Got some bolt paper, that's cool. I think those other guys don't follow me through that fall, so then I fall... Okay, yeah, this is where the gals are. Okay, yeah. And I'm also remembering there's an item on that balcony that I need to fall to get. This balcony here. And that is right up there, which is the kind of laser courtyard. I think you don't cross this threshold. Nope, that's wrong. I need to do a quick loop so that I'm behind this dude with the chain gun, because they're pretty slow to turn around. Kill you. Grab this. The ceiling guy does not like to jump down until I start this little conflict. So I'm definitely going to get my proper opening swings. That's no good. Yeah, these two guys when they're glowing red is actually just a little tough for us for BL4. I don't do a ton of damage to them, and I have to respect them quite a lot. if it might be easier for me to do if I was actually carrying a torch in my offhand. Probably not, because I should be trying to stifle these guys with some counterattacks. Either way, now that I've remembered, the drop-down spot I'm looking for, or at least one of them, is connected to the laser plaza. I'm going to be going back to the laser plaza to give that some attempts. So instead of taking the drop-down on those stairs, I'm going to come over here. And it should be coming up here, and then hugging the right-hand side, and the drop-off point is like between some statue or something. Maybe not quite. Maybe I just want to do this run. Yeah, because over here we can light a lamp. Cool. Now I don't have to worry as much, and I can walk back into the laser plaza to check for secrets. So the fall point should be like over there-ish. Pretty sure. Wake up, fire lasers, of course. Little bit of a safe spot. Not a big one. Just gotta roll for my life. I think I see it. It's right here. There we go. They can't... Oh, you can follow down. Really hoping you could not, but I mean, that's alright. Okay, so one of the heavies has been jumping down, so he'll be upstairs this time. This way we can kill the bell ringer, which denies him the buff and buys me time to get a critical. Without the buff, he's got less health, so he's going to be a lot easier to kill. Okay, that should apply to the one downstairs as well. Okay, now I think there's a way for me to get down in there. I still have to worry about the guy with the chain gun. Here we go, here we go. Take this fall, grab this item, the upper Cathedral Key. Oh, that's actually a super important one to grab. I'm going to take the long way around to my right to make sure I don't show up in front of the guy with the chain gun. Yeah, there we go. He didn't actually have himself set up in a great way to come at me, regardless. Try opening this. Nice. I got lucky on him doing such a committal attack there. There we go. And we get the Tiny Tuntritus. The Tiny Tuntritus, I believe, is a hunter tool. There we go. Strike the ground to emit blue sparks. It's like a lightning area attack. Not that big a deal for us. Okay. So now we got to get back over to the lamp we had tagged earlier, which is a bit of a pain in the neck. Requires us to go through a bunch of people, so we're going to use a hunter's mark instead. Okay, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark for the stream. My goal is to do about 3 hours, and then I'll be taking a break for dinner. And if I do anything after that, I might play some Dead by Daylight tonight. I'm going to take a trip back to the Hunter's Dream to spend this 20,000 on more blood vials, because we're running low again, as always. I think I might also try and sell some of these tools that I can never ever use. Because we're hard locked out of using a lot of these things. If we are allowed to sell them. I think these actually use for more than they sell for, but I don't recall. Yeah, these aren't worth a lot to sell, but we can't use them, so we might as well sell them. I think, yeah, we can't even use Beast Roar, and there's nothing in the game that augments our arcane to a point where we can use them, so we might as well get rid of them. And then we're gonna buy... I'm gonna buy 25 blood vials. And 2 bolt... Oh no, 1 bolt paper, because that's right. The blood echo cost of items actually increases as you play the game. So my blood vials used to be 540, now they're 720. Fire paper used to be about 5,600, now it's 8,400. I have no idea why they decided to do that. I kind of think it's patently unfair. We can get 1 upgrade on our weapon. Like, I do consider that to be a fairly annoying game design decision. I believe it's affected by which bosses you've killed. It does mean that it's more effective to farm a bunch early and then like try and make that enough to fit in the late game. Okay, we should be out to the Yahar Ghul Chapel, though I believe the upper church key gives us access to something new. That would be under keys. The upper cathedral key, upper cathedral ward. This is another new area that we can go back to now, and I think I might want to work on that. We've also got access to Canehurst, which we also need to go to. I don't remember where to use this I Have a Blood Drunk Hunter, but it's another important key that gets us into the DLC. We're not concerned with actually trying to get through the DLC until after we have beaten Mikalash. There's a boss that'll be coming up a little later. Oh, you know, we do have an item discovery stat. I think this does scale with insight. Let me see, because it's at 104 right now. If I use 12 Madman's Knowledge and a Great One's Wisdom, which is just a bigger Madman's Knowledge. No, Discovery's still 103. I don't know what that's actually based on. I wanted to check on something. So I'm going to go back to the Cathedral Ward. There's a couple different cleanup step things we can do. Oh, and we've also failed the quest line now for Eileen the Crow, but it's not important. There should be some updates to our NPCs now that we've killed Rom.
Forgive me.
Yeah, she is getting a little bit ill.
Once the night of the hunt passes, give it a thought.
His dialogue is not updated. Yeah, she's getting a little crazy. Yeah. Yeah, we can get a bit of sedative from her periodically. I think there's a limited amount of sedative that she can give us.
You're passing through. I did not learn from. I learned it all with.
Yeah, he's got his own thing going on. Sure. The upper chapel key, I think, is connected to the Healing Church workshop up here, if I remember correctly. I'm going to take a look to try and see if this is what I remember. If so, it leads to a very relevant late game area with 2 optional bosses. I think Bloodborne is unique compared to other Dark Souls games. I think it actually has more optional bosses than it does mandatory bosses. If not exactly that, then close to that. I'm just going to go directly up these stairs, because I don't care about most of these guys. Once again, with the Healing Church workshop, it has everything to do with us crossing these rooms the moment we get into them to kill these old men with guns. This one with this elephant gun, really rather not get shot by. Oh, he barely clipped me. That's fun. take a trip up this ladder, because we're looking for a secret that is very high up here. Let's see. The sky and the cosmos are one, the choir. Let's see. Active yet? It's like somewhere around here, I'm pretty sure. Should be like a secret bridge or something. Oh. Kill a few more old men. Okay, here it is. It's this door. Where are you lurking? So I believe I have the key to this now? Yep, open the door with Upper Cathedral Key. This is what I was thinking of. This takes us into the Upper Cathedral Ward. We've got a lot of these things lurking around there. Super weird. There should be a lamp around here somewhere. Got a blue elixir. This path. We've got these. We've got this variety of enemies, but they'll have a lot more health now. So I'm just going to skip past them to light this lamp. Lighting the lamp doesn't reset them, but they're really kind of languid anyway. So I think the first time I played through the game, I had like beaten the game without being aware of this location. Get the Great Lake Rune. Got more of these things. We're going to open this gate from the other side in a little bit, classic Dark Souls fashion. And this swarm of them is a bit more active and angry than the last. Got a big old pile of crows. These are healthier than crows have been previously. We're going to kill however many crows we need to safely get in and out of here, and not really any more than that, because I'm very tired of dealing with crows. Weird sound effects. These guys are actually very resilient. And we've got this guy up here who is possibly a bit of a pain. I'm going to lure him down the stairs a bit so I can fight him in a more open area. I need to have some freedom to dodge around him. I think also it's possible to like force him to step in fire, which is pretty funny. There we go. I got lucky on him choosing those attacks. It's pretty lanky. Pretty laggy moves there. Coming up here, bust out a torch. We've got one of these madmen. Give him a little dodge, Rune. These guys are very resistant to standard damage. So try and do like a stun there. There we go. Acquire gear. This is an area where it's a good idea to give yourself bolt type damage. I'm trying to remember when something's going to try to spook me here. That doesn't open from this side. Is it now? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we've got these blue-eyed werewolves that do an utterly silly amount of damage. There are a couple of them around here that we have to be cautious about. So for this little room and path that we were heading down, we still have to kill that same guy who's blocking the door. He's not a one-time spawn or anything. So, given that the front door is locked, we're basically trying to get down to the bottom of this building. It is possible in terms of navigating this area that you can just kind of force this guy to come along and then run past him. Because he does not, he don't have fast movement. We can also slip by a lot of these brain suckers. We can open this up. The werewolf is on our tail, and I think something is going to fall from the ceiling. Yes, if you run straight down the middle, you'll be in for a bad time. Grab a Ritual Blood 5, and I just want to open this. Oh, the door's locked. Okay. I just wanted to open the door even at the cost of my own life, but even that was not going to work out. Okay, something strange has happened on my audio, and I'm watching to make sure that there's no problem in the stream, because I stopped getting the audio feed from the game to my headset. But it looks like the game audio is still coming through, so I don't know what happened there, and I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, so these blue-eyed werewolves are pretty troublesome, and there's more than just one of them, too. I'm gonna maybe put fire paper and pungent blood cocktails on my bar. The pungent blood cocktail can allow me to distract him while I'm exploring. Pungent blood cocktails are not good for much more for the duration of this run, so I can just kind of freely use them to do whatever. They don't last forever. Let's see, in terms of that lock, I think I need to check out the other side of the upstairs. I do not remember how to work this. Oh, right, there's a lot more of these things. Kind of forgot this place was freaking full of them. Slam that down. I want to check out this back area here. Right, we've got another one of these guys. Just want to slip past him because those guys have a lot of health and killing them is very annoying. Okay, so that's not correct. This is locked. I'm going to die in this corner again because I felt like double checking. How do I get through this area? It's tough to remember how to navigate here, and it's very dangerous. Let me see. I might have to get past the area that has those 3 blue-eyed werewolves. And there's kind of no two ways about how particularly dangerous this area is. It just is this way. I don't think the pungent blood is helping me a whole lot, so I'm not going to bother with it. He decided to attack without doing his pointing thing. These guys usually love to point at you before they get aggroed. Okay, so we come through here. There's this guy here. Ouch. They are still quite subject to hit stun. With him dead, I can explore this again. Yeah, so he comes in through that window, and we still can't open this, so... Alright. I'm trying to remember if there's like a rafter here or something. There's some way to get to the other side of this, and I don't recall how. Because this was not open. And now I've got another one of these guys. And another one. I'm gonna try and, like, get out of their immediate line of sight so I can heal up. And I got killed. They are all over this place. I don't know where I aggroed that other one from. So I think the only spot I haven't checked out is basically on the left at the bottom of the stairs. Because I tried to check behind the stairs, and then on the right. But behind the stairs on the left, I haven't been able to survive because there's like 4 werewolves that'll aggro for that path. So I'm going to try and see if I can roll through them and take a look. There are a lot of shortcuts here if I can remember like how to open that stuff up. I mean, there's a couple different doors that are each one-way doors. So we're gonna come down here, past you, past you, past you, and we want to check over here. Okay, looks like a no-go. Okay, let's check back this way. Yeah, you just keep snarling and pacing. That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna try back over this way. I don't care what loot you have. It's not as important as getting up this ladder. There's also a brain sucker in that room. Just kind of reinforcing the idea of, like, don't go slow. Brain sucker at the end of this room, too. I think he's got me. That'll probably be a death, but we know where to go. That is a lot of death. Never mind, that attack can't kill. Cool. Grab this loot, moving on. You grab me again. I think that's too far. Nope, he got it. Okay. This is draining our insight. Oh, that one did kill us. I don't know what the rules are. Okay. I noticed that nothing followed us into that little hall, though, so I can kind of bet on that, I think. So yeah, it's kind of to the left behind the stairs, and then I go down that passageway, and then very quickly up that ladder. And then after I've gone up that ladder, I'm going to have to fight that brain sucker so that I can get through and open that door, and then that will open the shortcut. I was really hoping I could just open the door and loot the corpses without that guy getting me, but that was just greedy. Lost, like, no, 6 insight. Was it just the 3? It looks like the first time he drained insight and the second time he didn't, so I'm guessing that while the brain leech is showing, he probably does more, is probably lethal while he has the leech already showing. Ouch. That's pretty bad. I need to get around this guy. Okay, so I'll get here. And here I think I can heal up. So if I stop for this thing here, then I definitely have to worry about the brain sucker. But if I don't stop to get the loot, I can go up the ladder pretty much immediately. So since I know I need to fight a brain sucker, I'm going to do myself a favor and get ready with some bolt paper. But I also didn't check this offshoot. I did not think he could poise his way into landing that on me. Also, there are more of them. So that's cool. If I'm alive, then I'm not alive. Okay. I have no idea how I survived that the first time. Okay, so that route has more brain suckers. I am going to do myself a different favor. I'm going to travel back and switch out one of my blood gems for a lightning gem. We'll come at this with the full lightning damage conversion. It will be very helpful for fighting the brain suckers. Okay, so here we get the Bolt Damp Blood Gem. We have a pretty good one now. Now these physical attack ups don't do anything while we're on a bolt setup. Add physical attack plus 4.8 does stack with a bolt conversion, weirdly enough. Can't use a fire conversion. Skill scaling does basically nothing. Add physical attack plus 6 technically does something. Slow poison effect technically does something. So we'll do a couple of those to get like 10 flat physical damage. It's really unimportant. And I actually did find a couple runes I wanted to check on. So we got the Great Lake, all damage reduction plus 4%. So straight upgrade on the Lake rune. Going from Lake to Great Lake, go figure, it's better. Let's see, the air, that's right, the air rune is another farming rune. So we'll get more more currency, more cash every time we land a kill with a critical. Which is like pairing up with the moon rune in a nice way if we want. We could also just do a lower level clockwise metamorphosis on top of our existing clockwise metamorphosis. And there's the anti-clockwise if we want more stamina. We never get any more than 3 rune slots, so we just kind of got to pick what's important to us and commit. There's nothing else for it. Let's see, I believe this is the one that's connected to the upper cathedral ward. Okay, so with baseline lightning, we have a much, much better attack profile against the brainsuckers. They are part of the kin creature type. Oh, and there's no reason to having bolt paper on hand with that. If you set your weapon's base damage to something other than physical, you can no longer use the paper modifications. Which is consistent with the way it works in like other Souls games. Which I think is okay, but it's maybe not super intuitive. Like, if you hadn't played a Souls game, that's probably confusing. Nope. Ah, I couldn't quite give him the slip. I'm trying to use dodging as little as possible to get through these guys, because it's, the lag at the end of the dodge will prevent me from, like, getting back into a run quickly, which is why I got caught by the second attack, is because of the lag of the dodge. Now I got hit by the first attack because I didn't dodge, so that's something. Sometimes it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now I'm not aware of any impacts for having more or less insight. So I've gotten my brain sucked about 4 times. Well, so we're back down to like 79 insight from I think 90 something before. But I don't believe that's a big deal. There are a couple like weird breakpoints for insight earlier, and you can use insight as a currency to purchase some cool stuff. But it doesn't impact us like moment to moment in the run. Can I just run? Oh, I don't need to dodge past them. I can just run to the left immediately. Well, that's good to know. I actually want to get that little guy. Yeah, that's the difference in the lightning damage. Okay, so if I actually go for the brain sucker first, I won't be able to get that. Noted. Okay, so this time we're going to be going for the spare brain sucker so we can open the shortcut so that we don't have to engage with the werewolves again. And that would be over this way. Just have to not get hit if he does a ranged thing. Or he could just do the grab straight away. Yeah, that's the difference in having the lightning damage here, as opposed to just doing physical. not only are these guys vulnerable to lightning damage, but they're resistant to physical. Okay, so now we can run straight across after we've gotten through the first corridor. This brings us over here. We're going to go straight at this guy. Not get grabbed by you. And this gives us the Orphanage Key. We can open this thing up. This gives us a weird pose, which is kind of similar to the, what's it called? It's similar to the Dragon Shrine stuff in Dark Souls 3. A couple bloodstone shards out of you. Okay, and the Orphanage Key, unfortunately for our well-being, opens the door that is down at the bottom of the stairs here, past all of these guys. Please no. Oh my god, you're waiting in the doorway. What a troll. There we go. So we'll get this open and probably get killed by werewolves. Can they actually get through here? I don't recall. They might not be able to, which is maybe a good time for me to try and remember how to do, how to edit my gestures. Is it the left side? There it is, there it is, there it is. So I need to change one of these to make contact, so I have that available. That's wrong. So I can't recall if I have to use it here. I think it's elsewhere. It's another place. But I need to have this in my portfolio, so to speak. Or rather, I think I do. It might just be a weird flavor thing. Okay, we're heading through here now. These weird mushroom-headed goobers are also kin. So we want to keep our same... we want to keep our lightning damage. It's still good here. Okay, so coming into this room, we've got a weird boss fight. The Celestial Emissary. This is another one of those boss fights. It's like kind of trolly. This is like Deacons of the Deep level kind of stuff. This is just like a weirdly late game rendition of Deacons of the Deep. Although I suppose this also predates the Deacons. Basically, these guys kind of keep rising up. Only one of them is actually legitimate at any given time. You know, it's the Deacons of the Deep. So I guess this guy... I actually critical you? I guess you're not going to let me. So we get like a little bit of a screen shake and a stagger when we hit the right one. The rest of them naturally give us like no friggin' peace. Yeah, and we can be killed very quickly, which is how this is unlike the Deacons of the Deep. This guy is just a little pest until we get to phase 2, where he turns into a bigger pest. I think this is one of the worst fights in the game. Like this is like dealing with Rom and then dealing with this guy. It's kind of a junky night. Like I don't always enjoy the Amygdala fight as well because I think it's like weird and spindly, and I have a hard time understanding its arms. But at least that fight, um, is a fight with like a dude who has attack patterns and a cool phase change. It's not a fight with a gaggle of weird mushrooms that just want to slap you to death. So I actually forgot to do something earlier, and I'm paying the price now because I could have opened the gate shortcut. I believe it's after I've opened this door. I think I actually have the gate right in front of me. Yeah, I was just looking the wrong direction. Okay, so now we don't have an awful run back to the boss. That'll open up, so if we need to refight the boss, we can just, like, it's pretty normal. Okay, here we go. We can take this fall to start the fight, it's no big deal. I'm gonna try just using a lot of the R2s from that to clear the way. Get a bit of quality time with the boss man himself. Right, he is now changed into like his big boy mode. I believe he can cast some spells in this form as well. Yeah, this is the point where he's actually like a real boss, but he still has like a whole bunch of goons. I don't think... Yeah, the goons are also not done spawning. More goons will show up. Nope. Missed a goon. Okay, now he's looking to cast magic. I forget how that even works or what he does. I'm just kind of taking a moment to stay out of line of sight from him relative to this pillar. Die here. There we go. And then like other like multi-dude fights, once he dies, the others will die as well. And we will take this lamp to travel back because that is worth absolutely an absurd number of blood echoes. So after that guy and a little bit past this is one of the most challenging bosses in the base game. That is the daughter of Ebrietas. We are not going to be fighting her right now. We're going to come back for her after Mikalash as part of our kind of our late game troll. We're also going to be saving Canehurst for the late game. Let's see, we want to have bolt paper available for Ebrietas. So we're going to buy some of that, and then a lot more blood vials. I'm going to change my weapon back to normal because we're going to be cutting back to Yahar'gul. Just wanted to take like a moment to do something else for a bit. Keep it varied. Let's see, we're going to be using, going back to all tempering. Tempering. Alright. I'm going to take a moment to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Okay, checking the... Good, I am audible, and I'm on the move. Heading back to Yahar'gul, the Yahar'gul Chapel. Okay. There are two other like maintenance things I need to go do a bit later. It's not super urgent. I need to go back to Yosefka's clinic, fight and kill Yosefka for an important item, and I have the Canehurst summons that lets me get to another sub-area. That sub-area has been accessible for a while. I could have gone there before killing Rom, but I just didn't. So, looking down, this area should look familiar, because that is the part of the Hypogean Gaol that I was trapped in earlier. Also indicating that now we're above some streets and areas that I've explored previously. But we should now be able to access some new little subsets. We've got more of these spooky dudes hanging out. Not all of them matter. We want to take this drop because we want to be able to deal with him. There's a bell ringer up ahead a bit. And also naturally a couple of dogs. I want the dogs to kind of get strung out a little bit. The bell ringer's right here. Okay, I think it's 6-1 whether or not we kill her. I think we might be able to get past without killing her. Or I need to kill her faster before the dogs run around and get me. Or I need to kill the dogs. Several choices that don't quite line up with what actually happened. Oh, there's also one of these goobers. So long as you're harrying them, they won't despawn. 2 bloodstone chunks, pretty valuable. Glowing red or not, they're the same as other dogs. So a shotgun blast will open them up pretty handily. We will shoot her to stun all of these guys. And then we're going to run past them all. Open this up. Yeah, the lamp from earlier is now kind of busted up. So this lamp no longer functions, at least this version of the place. Nightmarish rituals created newborn. Yeah, that is a message we had read earlier. This door is still open from earlier, from the last time we visited this place. But there are some things that are new. There are new enemies shuffling around. There are these weird kind of pariah zone thingamajigs. Standing in them will hurt us quite a lot, but sometimes we can lure enemies into them as well. Some of the elevators around here that we were not able to activate before, we should now be able to set up the proper loop and interact with. The items that are hanging out should be fairly similar. Several of them we've already grabbed, but there are some that will be new or newly accessible. Yeah, this elevator is here now. Previously, this elevator cage did not come down. There's a couple spots we can jump out on this elevator, actually, to access new areas. So I may do that in a bit. Let's see. I don't remember. Okay, so this is the area from earlier. So it's actually jumping out of the elevator that gets us new progression right here. Yes. Knock you down. That will teleport us off to another area, so we want to check on that in a moment. More bloodstone chunks. Let me see. I'm trying to remember what's down here. One of these guys. These are like the final form that werewolves take. These big, weird, snarly, like bone creatures. Dog respawn behind us because we're in proximity to a bell ringer that's triggering it. We don't actually need to kill that guy. We were just trying to get the item behind him anyway, so we'll proceed from here. With the... let me see. With the elevator active, we can go back to the other lamp to progress. And that's if you have enough difficulty with this segment, you can kind of take the time to do that. I'm going to see if I can just run through here without worrying about the bell ringer and the dogs. If I can make this run it's not really important for us to travel back to the other area. The dogs are still following me. Aren't they? No, they stopped. Okay. That is a bit of a hike, so... And I have to kill these guys as well. Oh wait, is this not the segment with the... No, this is not where the elevator is. That's one turn too early. Oh, whoops. I neglected you. There are a couple items in the street that we can go after. There's the bell ringer that is affecting these other guys back here. Okay, and the elevator is properly returned since we were on the downward path. There are actually, there's actually one lip that's a little earlier that I think might get us to another area with possibly some secret stuff. Not like big important secrets, though. Yeah, we killed the bell ringer that was responsible for these dogs, so they're a lot faster and easier to kill now. We're not going to go back and fight that other guy again. I'm just going to use the teleporting bath. I don't know why there is a teleporting bath in one area of the game. I don't know. Somebody else will have to fill me in on the teleporting bath lore. Okay, we've got another one of those skeletal dog guys over there. And over here, we've got another bell ringer. Super fast, kill that guy. I'm going to take this ladder down because I believe this opens up... No, that's just a drop. Okay. I thought that opened up another area, but I was wrong. So that'll take us back down to street level, and this is another route to get to street level, which is handy, but not the most important thing at the moment. So up the street was where we found the Tontritis originally. I believe you can find the Tontritis at this later point in game if you come back through here. And down the street, there's a boss at the end of the street. There are some potent upgrade items. I'm trying to remember where the particular blood gem is that we're looking for. It's in a house somewhere. I think it might be through here. What I remember about it, funnily enough, is that a hound is going to try to kill us over it. I think it's at the base of these stairs. Yeah, this is the house I remember, and there's the guy. It's not that the hound is going to try to kill us, it's that it's behind this hound. Well, the hound will consequentially try to kill us, but that's what we wanted. Got him too. Life or death is a little irrelevant after getting that blood gem. That thing is huge. Okay, and this drops us off at street level. Ultimately, we're coming to street level one way or another. Right, I forgot these guys have projectile attacks. Ugh. Yeah, so they can huck a bone, like, spit spear thing at us, which is a bit annoying. I think it might cause frenzy or bleed or something. They can also generally try to fall on us. They do some pretty good damage. Number of things to be on the lookout for with regard to them. Let me see how many blood chunks I've got. It's 5 chunks to get my next weapon upgrade. I've got 6, so I can go back and get a weapon upgrade. We're going to do that real quick. Now that I've got that Tempering Blood Gem 5, and a couple of chunks, I think the only thing to do here really is go after the boss. I don't think there are any more important drops in this area. It's a bit of a difference from the other Dark Souls games. In the other there are fewer things that matter to us because our gear is very set in stone. Oh yeah, that's worth a lot. So we'll get this up to +8. We need another 7 bloodstone chunks to take it up to +9. And then I believe we'll need some other final item that I don't require. I don't recall even what it is. Yeah, so the Damp Blood Gem +5 will give us an 18% attack boost. So we've gotten another 5% attack compared to what we had before. And I don't think we found anything else important. You can see a depth on these in a listing. That is how far you'd have to go in a Chalice dungeon for it to drop randomly. So we've got like a depth 7 thing here. That there is a depth 9. That is the depth 14. Pretty wild. We also got some ritual blood. I'm going to take a look. So this one is... Yeah, I've got the lower Tumerian set up. I've got the Ailing Loron that needs to be set up, and I need Ritual Blood 4 for it, which I have 1 of. I need another 8. And that is to create a depth 4 dungeon. This is a depth 3 dungeon that we've unlocked. So to actually get gems like this to drop randomly, there's an absurd amount of dungeoning that needs to happen. We'll buy a lot of these. Need them. So I'm going to go in and see if I can take a shot at the boss of this area, the One Reborn. He is a huge pain in the neck. I'm going to use the elevator to get down. I mean, there's kind of a lot of pain in the neck enemies at this point. The One Reborn is one of those enemies that's kind of reviled by the community. And there are some legitimate reasons and some illegitimate reasons for that. I think the One Reborn is very close to being a cool, fun boss. But they gave him just a couple extra little things that tend to really annoy people. As for me, I'm on the fence about him. Basically, he's got some ads that are strung about the room that will kind of throw a bunch of junk at you, and that's very annoying. I'm gonna try the second fallout spot just here. What do we actually have here? Is there anything of note? Wow, that's actually pointless. That's pretty rare. Usually these things are a lot more meaningful. So I think the fastest way to get back to where I'm going is to take the teleporter followed by the ladder. Yeah, because this is like pretty far up the street. That's the end of the street there. Oh. Are you not in the mood for me to explain where I'm going? Come on. Somebody might be trying to find their way through this area. They're lost, confused, deserving of a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of pity. Anyhow, we'll teleport through here. And then we'll head up here, across here, kill this gal. Killing her stuns him. Kill him. It's a mercy. Now we'll go down here and we'll take the fall. So I think one of these buildings along the left might be open now, but I don't recall. Let's take a quick look. No, not only are they not open, their doors are substantially creepier, covered up with these kind of like skulls and petrified people and things. Gross. Well, with all that sorted, it gives us a clear shot on the boss. So this gate, this whole area was closed off the last time we were coming through here. There's the possibility of summoning somebody if you need assistance. But now the gate is wide open. So we can come on in here to fight the One Reborn, which I think just like, does it just materialize in the middle? Okay, no, it's got a proper cutscene entry. The moon is high, got this, and then it's blood red. That is the timeline progression we've gotten now. So the setup for this fight is basically up in the rafters. We've got all of these bell ringers who are summoning this guy in, and they will proceed to throw in some other junk during the fight if you don't take them out. So we've got this like horrid, squicky bone slug monster design for the boss. Pretty spooky. So he's got this like double head thing going on, these kind of lanky limbs. I need to remember how to get up, or this fight ain't gonna go well. He's spitting some stuff at me. It doesn't kill me, so it's not that big a deal. Just need to remember how to get up into the upper area. I think it's like back here on the left, maybe? Yeah, here we go. So we've got these spiral staircases that will lead us up. Or we can go after each of these lassies. We have to make sure that the boss doesn't like hit us with something while we're near the balconies. But these gals up here, who are like flinging these little bolts of stuff down, I can't recall if that heals the boss or empowers him. I think that heals the boss is what it does. We gotta come around and kill all these gals. It's basically only once they're dead that you can fight the boss for real. Yeah, he materializes a thing above him that shoots. Yeah, that's right. The bone corpse guy on top of him is kind of a caster. He's got a little howling attack that he did there. He can conjure like these things that drop a bunch of corpses on you, that are a little more annoying than they are dangerous. I'm trying to remember how to best go about dismantling this guy. I took some damage there from an unknown source. I think it was that he dropped like some corpse goo on me. So both sides of this guy can be like independently active. I think they even do different things. Right, okay, we've got the... Oh, so he filled the entire arena with goo. That's right, I need to be on the stairs to avoid that attack. Okay. Was DBD down earlier? Were they doing some maintenance? Is the artist out? I wasn't sure when she was dropping. But I'm glad to see, like, Pentimento in the game as, like, a balancing factor. Take this back down. think I need to fight the dogs if I get in here on this fast enough. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I think I'm likely to jump on to some DBD after dinner. I want to play more Hillbilly, run people down with a chainsaw. Okay, I think that attack he did there is a huge pain in the neck, and he's only going to do that attack if I activate his second head. So I'm going to try going through the fight without doing that. I want to attack his forelegs. Just his, like, front limb parts. Okay. Getting the fight restarted can be a little tricky because he's going to try and, like, shoot stuff at us. We want to use the pillars to block that and get around until we can get over into here. A couple healing vials. And now we need to do our standard run along the top. Killing these gals. Thankfully these guys have less health than the usual renditions of the Bell Ringers, and they die in only 2 attacks. They also give about 1,000 blood echoes if you know, get them all down, fight the boss, and if you can keep track of your blood echoes during the boss fight, you can come out with that. So I believe he's going to do that howl every single time we've killed all his attendants. Ouch. Well, that summarily one-shot us. I think what I want to do to avoid that attack next time is actually move towards his midsection area, because that did not have a lot of sweep. It kind of came down right where it did. I gotta remember a bit about how this fight is structured. There's a lot going on. So a lot of people complain about this fight because he's got a lot of doohickeys and projectiles and things. But I actually really like the fight is another huge monster that you get to kind of dismantle. The One Reborn does have a few kind of critical effects and interactions based on targeting certain body parts and things. I just don't remember which body parts those are and how the interactions work. And of course, for being an SO1 character, it takes a good bit of hacking away to make those things actually trigger. Whoops. It was too late there. I was facing the wrong direction. Do this, setting this back up. We need the second jump off point here. There we go. This boss run is not that bad when you get down to it. It is a little bit annoying that every single time you do the boss fight, you have to go along the top and kill all those goons. I kind of wish, because once you know to do this, it's such a no-brainer action. I kind of wish they just didn't make these Bell Ringers respawn for this fight. I think that would be a little different to include a non-respawning enemy actually inside of a boss arena. There is something a little similar in Dark Souls 1. I saw an item from over this way. While I was fighting the boss, I actually noticed an item, so I'm going to go grab it. Right over here. Just a little something. I don't know if this area is considered a separate area in terms of the drops, or if it just like adds a couple extra corpses compared to coming here earlier in the Hypogean Gaol. I just don't know. I don't know one way or the other. But yeah, for the Gaping Dragon fight in Dark Souls 1, there is a channeler that is like a spellcasting enemy earlier on in Sewer's area who can shoot you while you're doing the boss fight if you haven't gone out of your way to kill him. Which is kind of neat. It adds a bit of extra challenge if you're trying to go through things quickly or if you're familiar with the area already, because it is possible to just skip most of the sewers area with like one good jump. It's not even a difficult jump. It's like a jump of mediocre timing skips through the entire area, and you can go straight to the boss. But you'll have this extra guy shooting like projectiles at you. Once you know how to fight the boss is like not dangerous at all. So I think it's neat and just handy that that's there. Okay, he's gonna shout. We'll kill these gals. Okay, so this time I'm gonna respond to that by moving about to this point. Try and drop corpses. Yeah, so there we got critical effect. Ouch. But we're not dead. Ouch. So we got something dropped right on top of us while we were hurt. No, that was not actually the corpse drop. That was the like the bile shot while we were injured, which is really no good. I actually input 2 dodges there accidentally while I was trying to dodge once and get in a heal. So some buffered actions took up too much of my time there. Most of the boss's attacks don't one-shot us. We just need to not get hit in sequence by stuff. And we can trigger down states in the boss as well. I'm going to equip Fire Paper. If I knock him down again, I'm going to throw on the Fire Paper and dish out some real damage. Ow. Yeah, by my recollection, this boss is handily vulnerable to fire. Ouch. Okay, I got snagged on the stairs and died. Much to my shame. Alright, I've got another hour left tonight for Bloodborne, and then I'm going to eat dinner. Gotta get some food in me. That's not the right way to drop down. Oops. Oh well. I'll have a couple of guys shooting behind me pretty much at nothing. Okay. This switch. Pick up these blood vials. Well, that makes up for the 2 blood vials I used before. Ouch! Jerk. Top off. Okay, there we go. Let's try to not get snagged on the stairs this time. Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, so the trick about the Blood Reborn is not getting too pressured out or doing too many random dodges. There's only a couple specific attacks we need to really be out of the way of. And like other Bloodborne bosses, if we can keep up the aggression, we'll have an easier fight. We're still going to have to start the fight every time by popping off to the side, running through here for safety, and then we will make it up here, heal a bit because it's not unusual for us to take a hit with that early scramble. You. We took another couple of hits because he actually started swiping at us up here. Which he can do. The game does not want you to like stay up here and fight him from the balcony. He will do some very random kind of melee sweeps up here if you stick around here too much. So you're not supposed to make it a habit. I think it's also possible to make a plunging attack on him from up here, but it's not as profitable as it is in other Dark Souls games. And that scream kind of exists to disincentivize you from focusing on doing that. Okay, got a little bit of gunk on me. Yeah. The falling gunk is the really annoying part of the boss fight. It's difficult to deal with while you're addressing other things that he's doing. And I still don't want to run behind him, because he will trigger a whole different set of attacks that is kind of annoying. That being said, if you run behind him, he lowers the caster head, and you don't have to deal with the caster attacks. So, there's a trade-off. Which is interesting. I might actually have a better time fighting the head at the back end if I can avoid the bile attack that killed me before. Let's not get shot again. Grab this though. There we go. Yeah, so long as I don't stand in the door frame, I'm not going to get randomly shot. This fight can be a bit taxing on blood vials. Part of why I went and bought even more. Because I knew that this was going to be messy. I've never done this fight clean. I'm going to try going along the right to see if I might have better luck with not getting slapped. Well, I still got shot. So I think that's a no. Same run around. Yeah, the reason I don't like this is it's just tedious. You have to do this every time you do the fight. So I think when the corpses start falling, I just need to kind of run for a bit. Okay, there though, he started the corpse falls even though I had him on the floor, so I don't understand the rules at all. He's got like weird pimples now that are popping while I'm attacking, and it's causing like some retaliatory damage. There's the scream again. Wager that's a phase change, but I don't know what's implied. He's casting Corpse Falls. I think he's doing like a greater Corpse Fall now. I think that's an incoming sweeping attack. Yeah, he's doing little pimple pops at each of the limbs that I am taking on the chin. Uh-oh. Oh, that's the phase 2. Both his sides are active now. Okay, that's another stagger. And there's the boss. Okay. Yeah, as long as you pay attention to the, some of the stuff he's doing, you just have to pay attention to the dropping bodies, which are a bit annoying, but the boss has, like, really easy to deal with stagger mechanics, so honestly, it's just kind of a thing to get over and not worry about. You just have to back off him and dodge periodically because he's casting spells. But he's pretty slow, and he staggers a bunch, so just use that. I think he's also a boss where you can get in some cheeky stuff by like shooting him in the face if you have a powerful gun or the cannon.
O Flora of the moon, of the dream, O little ones, O fleeting will of the ancients, let the hunter be safe, let him find comfort, and let this dream, his captor, foretell a pleasant awakening. Be one day a fond, distant memory. Ah, I must have drifted. What is it? Farewell, may you find.
Yep. It's kind of indicating that we're trapped. We can now buy Bloodstone chunks with Insight as well, which I believe triggers after killing the One Reborn. He's made of Bloodstone chunks. So in the event we wanted to do that, we would be buying like 7 of them, which is 140,000 Blood Echoes, which we don't have. We're not going to plan on using that as a farming mechanism. Like, we're not going to plan on farming that out. That is a lot. That is a ton. I am going to buy a lot of blood vials. Just a bunch, because I don't want to worry about it or think about it. And we're going to teleport right back to where we were, the Advent Plaza. I don't even think there's any enemies between where we were and the next lamp, but this way we won't have to teleport back at the next lamp. Let me see. So we'll be proceeding now to another rendition of the Nightmare Frontier, which is yet another area that we earlier cheated our way into. Yeah, we inspect this mummy and kind of commune with him. We see all these fellows here with these kind of cages on their head. Not something I understand super well. And we're back in the lecture building again. This time we're at a different entrance of the lecture building compared to our earlier trip to the Nightmare Frontier. So we're in the upstairs this time. Got some sedative, that'll be important in a bit. Yeah, I believe this rendition, yeah, we've still got like the goo students, the Goodents, if you will. Ow. They might have like more health than before, I'm not sure. We can see the upper areas here. We've already got the items from around here. These versions might have more health or something. They might do more damage. I don't know. That's like... That's some specific stuff. The Nameless Moon Presence, beckoned by Lawrence and his associates. Pale blood. I'm going to fish around here just a little bit more. I think there might be a noteworthy item behind one of these doors. Okay, here we go. Communion. I believe that would allow us to carry more blood vials, so that's an option now. Got a couple of these little slug boys following us. I'm not going to give them the time of day. That fellow over there is actually a rough customer, and he's like the only tough dude in this block. Most of these other guys are just not aggressive enough to worry about, even though this one just chucked a bunch of acid at us. Okay, it's just a couple of them I see. The ones without caps have these pitchers that are pretty dangerous. I think it's acid. I don't know. Well, we got another blood chunk. We need those pretty badly. Just the one more upgrade. Okay, so this time, we're just going to run all the way down. We've already checked all the side rooms and things. Funnily enough, with this area, the really valuable items are on the first floor, and we already received them all. The most notable thing that was here was the Augur of Abraiatas. It's the Tentacular Spectacular spell. We've already got it, so we're moving on. And we're in the Nightmare of Menses. This is a somewhat deeper area than the Nightmare Frontier, and has a nastier saturation of enemies that we saw a bit of earlier in the Nightmare Frontier. It's possible, if you listen very closely, to hear a crying baby. Which is just another example of Bloodborne being super awful. So we're just going to tear this guy apart. So this is the same enemy type that we can recognize from earlier. I think they might be marginally tougher if there is any difference. I'm not certain of that. I don't know if that's real or just imagined. Perhaps dreamt. 3 more bloodstone chunks, getting us really close. Another 3 and we can get a weapon upgrade. So this approach we have to be very cautious of. There is an entity up there that's like glowing and making noise. And basically there's a giant eyeball creature up there that can kill us by staring at us. I actually need to change my equipment. Now, interestingly enough, it can also kill the NPCs that are running around. It does not discriminate. We need to go for maximized frenzy resistance. Bone Ash set's not terrible. We're going to go with the Yarno Hunter set. I don't know why it is that, yeah, That hurt quite a bit. Oh right, I forgot. These guys let leeches go when they die. That is a new feature of the Nightmare of Menses compared to the Nightmare Frontier. These dudes are nastier because they've got parasites. Fun. I don't know why it is that they chose to make Frenzy the bleed effect, like why they named it that. I think they might have had something else in mind, but they wound up going with this setting where it causes you to like take a bleed proc. So we can see these kind of needles that are forming out of him. That's the same thing that's happening to us if we like walk out there. So we'll kill him pretty quick, and we'll try to move along. We need to kind of take cover by moving close along these rocks until this thing quiets down. And you need to watch out, because these dudes are also coming after us at the same time. It takes long enough for them to die from this frenzy effect that it's not really something that we can lean on to kill the enemies. It incidentally causes damage to them, and it helps us to understand where it's taking effect and where you're safe from it. Because we can walk in here and notice that the enemies who are seated are not taking this damage. It does take a while with this armor set for Frenzy to kill us. We should only actually die if the meter maxes out twice. So I'm actually going to run past some of these guys, assuming that I can get away with that, which is a no if you're going to be that bad at it. But I want to see about getting some more drops and things from around here. This is a dead end, so I'm kind of screwed. Yeah. I needed to not run up that little path on the right. So taking a hit from an enemy will mean that a frenzy proc will kill us. If we've got any damage on us from anything else, we're going to die from taking that proc. We're basically just two-shottable at this point, and that's all. That's just the way it is. Sedative is the consumable item that can remove this effect or delay it, give us resistances, things like that. We don't have a lot of leeway in, like, when we start this run. Most of the enemies here along this path are not being triggered by our presence, they're on a timer. Going after a lot of the items and drops along this path will put us in a possible hurt locker. I think I can just open this. There we go. Something is probably going to be right behind me once I open this. That is okay. We're just going to move on through. And coming in through here, spider phobia warning. Spider phobia, big trigger. Don't watch if you have spider phobia. This area is really spidery. Like, really spidery. Some kin cold blood. I think this is the second worst area for spiders in all of Dark Souls. That being said, we are going to weirdly avoid a lot of the spiders, and you can kind of get away with that. A lot of them will not follow you, only a few of them do. We've got a PvP fight on this bridge. It's not really avoidable, but it's a one-time fight. I believe the dude here is wielding a whip sword, if I remember right. I think there's a lamp like really close by that we missed. I don't remember where it is. But we have to make this run again. Yeah, if you wear something with enough resistance and you just commit to it and go, this run's not that bad. We are taking a minuscule amount of damage, just as a matter of course. It is basically it's a long-ranged attack that's applying to us that comes in with the Frenzy debuff. The debuff also trickles in as the result of the attack. We don't take all the Frenzy up front. So there's a price to be paid if we just kind of dilly-dally or hang around. Okay, so coming back to this room, I'm pretty sure we just want to run along this upper thing here. Maybe without hopping down just yet. Oh, never mind. I don't know what hit me exactly with that last attack I took. Most of the spiders in this room don't aggro onto us. Okay, I think the lamp is just past this guy up here. If he doesn't have another PvP fight behind him, it might... Dang it! Unruly spiders. I don't remember when... I don't remember where the spiders choose not to chase you. But yeah, there's a lamp just on the other side of that guy. I'm remembering now. There's like another batch of enemies. There's another enemy type that starts up after this. Okay, so just do this run. Get my stamina back. Run again. This is one of those areas that kind of taxes your healing vials to run through, because we're taking some damage because an enemy stared at us. For things like a hitless run or a flawless run, you discount those hits, like they don't matter. Most flawless runs only need to evaluate your performance against bosses, unless you're literally going for like a full-blown no-hit challenge. Okay, one of those guys clipped us. That's a bummer. Okay, so I'm going to run straight at the guy without really pausing. So I think it's crossing this threshold that might get me freedom from those. And then I need that little guy to kind of move a bit. Yeah, okay. I got killed again. I thought the lamp was in that room, but I'm not seeing it right away. This guy's got a Ludwig's Holy Blade and something else. Okay. If you actually ascribe to the idea of killing everything you run into, this entire area is a nightmare. I mean, like, even apart from the fact that it's called the Nightmare of Menses. It's worth remembering and establishing, or perhaps like stating again, because I've probably said this before. The goal of Dark Souls is not to kill everything in your path. The goal of Dark Souls is to know where to go. Like, figuring out where to go in Dark Souls is a giant, huge chunk of the game. Wait. Okay, is there not a lamp out on one of these? No. There's not a lamp down here, right? Okay. Yeah. We just have to get past this guy. Or, like, fight him proper. There's the baby's cry again. Yeah, sometimes he does, like, a quick step up instead of a real attack, and it super gets me when he does that. Okay, I think it's, like, somewhere around here, not far away, is a friggin' lamp. And he one-shot me with a spell. No, he downed me with a spell and then stood back up. Well, he downed me with a spell and then killed me on wake up. Okay, so I have ruled out that direction. The goal's not to kill this guy. The goal's to know where to go and get there. If I had a better recollection of where to go in Bloodborne, this would be a much, much cleaner run. I would not have lost so much consumables money. Yeah, once you cross that bridge, you're basically out of line of sight of the thing that is causing frenzy. And even this basic armor set is enough for us to not take that frenzy effect. Because if we actually take a frenzy proc, it's like half our health. Probably more than. I think it's probably 70% of our health if frenzy procs. I don't know how the math works on frenzy attacks. Oh right, if we run straight down the middle, the big spider will wake up. And the big spider has an utterly ridiculous attack range. Okay. I am taking an attack from him, like, right on the noggin every single time. That's not the location of the lamp? Oh my god. How is this friggin' laid out? Okay, no, that's right. It's at the far end of these hall with these weird little midgets, isn't it? And you come down here, and you've got these dudes. I think there's like an elevator somewhere. I almost fell into a pit of nothingness. Oh my god. Just torch, please. There we go. Yeah, most of these little guys, like the first set of these little dudes, are not aggressive. They don't care about us. We're into the aggressive set now. Okay, I feel like it was just up here and then maybe around a corner, like one corner. We've got to be near a lamp. Lamp. Okay. We've got a ton of crows that now have dog heads because everything's awful. I missed, like, taking the leap correctly to get that item. And I don't want to try again until I can find where the friggin' lamp is. Okay, that's right. We don't need a lamp. We have an elevator. This gives us a shortcut, and there's a lamp down here. Ha ha ha. Cool. And this is another elevator that will trigger a bit later. That's how it works. It's like a big old thing about that. Okay, so now I can choose to backtrack through some of those other hallways to get items and things like that. But I think that is usually detrimental to your health. This will trigger yet another elevator. This area is elevator-tastic. Take the jump into this cage. Another Tempering Damp Blood Gem 5. That should be about another 5% attack boost. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. There. Okay, and then we have this whole hall area thing. Is this the fight with Mikalash already? No, this is just like an area that's running. Oh no, it is the fight with Mikalash.
Cause. Some say cause.
I thought this was further in.
Do you hear our prayers? No, we shall not abandon the dream. No one can catch us. No one can stop us now.
You weird cultist. Okay, so I'm not sure now if this is actually the fight or if that's just like a taunt. Is this actually the This is actually the fight. So Mikalash, host of the nightmare. This fight is also referred to by many as a pain in the neck, because we got to run this sucker down. And he loves to run past a lot of junk. And he has this really annoying tendency to kind of one-shot us if we let that spell hit us. And the fight's also got these little, like, doll things hanging out that are pretty annoying. They will respawn ad nauseum. I think they can two-shot us as well. I'd like to not have to worry about these ads for a moment, so I can have some quality time alone with Mikalash. There we go. He kind of treats the Augur as a, like, predictable retaliatory attack. He'll get tired of this loop in a moment and run off to do the next, like, phase of the boss fight. There we go. Yeah, he falls over, but he's not real. It's like, yeah.
Oh, majestic! A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. But alas, not too fast.
That was the entryway. Need to remember where to get to the other half of the fight. I believe it's over here. Yeah. Okay. Now I think one of these... Oh, weirdo. I think one of these directions is optional and has, like, a cool item. Or this guy. That might be what I'm remembering. Bloodstone chunks. Some of these goons. That super murdered me. And they're poisonous. Huh. I don't remember if the way to go here is actually up or down. Okay, so I think, yeah, I must be misremembering this area. It's got to be that most of this area is actually after Mikalash. Right. You fight Mikalash, and then you proceed further, and then after Mikalash, you fight a much tougher boss of the area, which is the, what's it called? Murgo's Wet Nurse. So we can actually fight Mikalash now. Work on that. Yeah, I think many people who would consider Bloodborne think a lot of like some of the earlier bosses as being really cool, as well as some of the optional bosses as being really cool. Whereas, I mean, even some of the bosses we fought in the Chalice dungeons, like I really like the Bone Golem in there. It's just simple, pretty good fight. The Tumeru Descendant is actually a pretty good fight, I think. Yeah, so Mikalash kind of likes to run around. You can theoretically hit him while he's running around, but I'm pretty sure once you started up the chase with him, he will always wind up going to that one room. We might have to hit him. Yeah, okay. It's like a phantom. I think he actually did run off to this one room, and he just split off into two. I don't know why that one fell down after an attack. So these things are like a little bit evasive. Yeah, I need to run him down until he actually comes into this room for real. There can be a lot of running in this fight, and the key reason why many people don't like this fight is that you can wind up running after this guy for... you can wind up running after him quite a lot, and then if you're on a low-level run, just get one-shot. For high-level runs, this guy is considered mostly a nuisance, because I don't think he can one-shot most high-level builds. When he does that quick turnaround, like, I don't have the stamina after following him to actually make an attack. Okay, here we go. He's actually going to stand and fight in this room. Up. There we go.
Majestic.
Yeah, we go up the ladder.
Hunter, even in a dream.
This time I'm going to check up the stairs rather than down the stairs.
Not too fast.
Ouch, that's very damaging. Still causes rapid poison as well. That was a very poised attack because he was leaping. I'm going to have to take out this guy, I think. He's coming after me with a lot of determination. Yeah, fairly resilient little buggers. Especially considering the damage they do is really good. Okay, here's Mikalash again. Yeah, he can jump through these mirrors here starting from the second segment. And there's like a loose kind of navigation puzzle to this area. We are ultimately going to chase him kind of through this area. And after he's beaten, we'll get kind of a bridge raised up. And he's going to make weird noises at us the whole time. Super pleasant. I think there's like a loose way to trick him into coming through one of these directions or areas. Kind of going to fall after him sometimes. Yeah, this is his trick. So now that he's dropped in there and closed the door, he's not going to leave that room, but we have to navigate back up and get to that room. Which I believe is it this one? No, it's not that one. I got killed by this random thing because it's in like a tight little spot and I couldn't stay focused on it. Whee! It's a long fight. So in terms of the game flow, our goal is basically take out Mikalash. We're going to keep exploring the Nightmare a bit further. I think, from what I recall, we can get the max tier upgrade item from completing like a cutscene interaction around here. We've got the Bloodstone chunks to get the next upgrade, so once we get that item, I don't remember what it's called in this game. It's like a Bloodstone cluster, a Bloodstone slab, whatever. Once we get that, we can kind of clock out from this area and come back later, but we've got a lot of side content to work on, and it's not trivial stuff. Yeah, if you wing him, he will want to move on to this area a bit more urgently. Our absolute priority in this fight, beyond anything else, is don't get hit by Augur, which is that big tentacle attack he's doing. Thankfully, it's real easy to avoid. So long as you're looking out for it. Just do a couple attacks, dodge, wait for your stamina to come back, go back in. Do just 2 attacks to give you more stamina meter back. Back out here, turn up.
Oh, majestic!
That opens up, I'll top off my health.
Even in a dream.
I want to head up the stairs,
Not too
avoid these guys. I'm going to try not getting shot this time. Revolutionary idea. I just thought of that strat. Chase him along, he goes into a mirror. Then we want to kind of come down over here. This is the spot we're dropping into to fight him at the end. I think. Yeah, it is. Can I not get killed by that same guy again? attack pattern from these dudes is like just tricky enough with their like slippery dodge thing. They're really the kind of enemy that just punishes you for relaxing. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's the wrong way to go. I really don't want to involve those guys on the stairs in this entire affair. Okay, there he is. And iron door key. I don't recall what this does for us. I think it is loosely important. Absolutely hate these noises he makes. There he is. It doesn't help that I don't really know Mikalash's flow. I will lose track of him pretty consistently. I think he's actually, theoretically, like one boss that you can troll out with poison knives, or that sort of thing. Okay, so I need to remember where it was earlier that I was taking the fall. I think it's this room. Yeah. So this is the route I'm supposed to follow him on, because he goes through there after coming through that mirror, and then I need to go back up and around. Leave me alone. Is there not another way? Okay, no, this can't be right. I want to go up. Here we go. Yeah, so we go back up to the top floor. There are a lot of stairs involved. And we come around this side. He will try to punch us now, periodically. I'm not sure if fire is the most effective thing against him, but I just wanted this segment to be done faster. He is a little bit, like, flightier for this segment. He can cast this spell, which is a pain in the neck. Just there, he had, like, an item usage failure. I don't know why that happens. That one we need to dodge carefully. Auger. That hit me pretty randomly. The trick of that attack is absolutely make sure you're at top health. And then there, we were not able to be at top health because he decided to use it like 5 times. That's what I get for not being on top of the boss. Once he puts me in a healing loop, I'm in a hurt locker. And now we have a long fight to do again. Yay. I'm going to give Mikalash one more shot tonight. And if I don't kill Mikalash at this next attempt, I'm going to take a break anyway, because, like, Mikalash is a huge pain in the neck. Today was, like, all of our pain in the neck bosses. I think everything after this is just legitimately hard. But this is like our gimmick boss fight day. it's kind of a trick and a little bit frustrating in Bloodborne that all the gimmick bosses line up. But after Mikalash is dead, we have, like, the DLC bosses, none of which are really gimmicky. We've got the Daughter of Abraiatas, which is nasty. Let's see. There's the Lord of Castle Canehurst. I can't remember the actual name of that boss. It's something. But yeah, we've got Canehurst is probably the first thing I'm going to work on because it's easier than the DLC. It's like earlier. But we'll kill Mikalash. We'll get our weapon maxed out. Then it's going to be Castle Canehurst. Ran me in a circle. What a derp. What a jerk. And he's still not over at the, he's not over at, like, the final location he goes to. So, where's he actually hanging out? He's just howling. But he's not over here, right? No, not over here. There you are. Not quite? Okay. It's basically Bloodborne has a rich tradition of nasty, awful caster bosses. And then, like, all the fights and critters are super cool. I need to catch him again and slap him again, because he's not running to his actual, like, the location he sits at. Hook a left. He did not hook a left. Now, thankfully, in terms of the way he actually fights in the last room where he stands and fights you, he still doesn't fight like a player character would. He still fights like a Dark Souls boss. Just a humanoid-shaped Dark Souls boss. And now he's running to his little safe zone for his first phase. His real first phase when he's actually in the mood to fight. And basically what I mean by he doesn't fight like a player character is he largely doesn't dodge. His, like, doll things dodge more than he does. There it is. I was trying to make that happen for a while. To get the critical, you have to have the timing just right on strafing out of his auger. You can also interrupt the auger by hitting him, but the timing's tricky, and if I get it wrong, I might die, so that actually didn't kill me. I'm surprised. That counter hit me and didn't kill me. Yeah, Augur of Abraiatas is, like, technically a gun attack, so to speak. It's just like a gun spell. Kind of got him hanging out in the corner for a bit there. It's annoying. No matter how you interact with that first phase, you really can't push that boss really any further on health.
But alas, not too fast.
I got stuck there on doing a leap, which is not the better way to interact with that. Okay, I'm gonna top off. guy is bogarting his doorway. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it should be over here. To take a fall. Which will chase him into the final room. Make sure he gets in there. Gotta heal up again, because I got slapped again. Okay, so in this final fight, I need to loop him and make sure he doesn't loop me. There are some cases, if I think he's being punchy, where I can shoot him, and I need to be mindful of that, because I completely forgot my gun was even an option for this fight. I think I might want to be closer to him for that. Yeah, this will completely... Yeah, that just put me in a healing slash knockdown loop. And when I got up, he just augured me in the face before I could hit him. It didn't help that I had a pillar in the way. Alright, so we're going to get back to this the next time I sit down to Bloodborne, because it's just a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting and running in circles. Just one of those guys. He's like Deacons the Deep tier fight there. Like the emissary is even the emissary is more interesting. Okay, so yeah, we'll be getting back to this perhaps later in the week, but I don't know when I will be on Bloodborne precisely. Got plans for Tuesday. For Wednesday, I'm planning to be playing more of Jedi Fallen Order instead. So we'll boot that up at that time. Thank you very much for joining. This has been Jupiter Exile. Until next we wander. Good night.